The weight of being seen. The first time that I ever felt seen by my dad was at the Toys R Us. It was the weekend before my 9th birthday. My parents and I made the hour-long drive to the big Toys R Us in the city in our aging Toyota Corolla so I could pick out a present for myself. A family tradition that showed every ounce of the sensible pragmatism of my Chinese immigrant parents. I remember pulling Mom through those sliding glass doors to be embraced by that sweet plastic smell only a room stacked to the brim with brand new toys could have. Dad trailed behind, with his Nokia phone pressed to his ear. He was tethered to that clunker back then, always a fire that needed to be put out at work. Mom had called it his short leash. I didn't care, as it was the one time a year that I was given carte blanche to buy any toy that I wanted. Given that Dad's textile business was still in its heydays, there wasn't any room for frivolity. And Toys R Us was aisles upon aisles, shelves upon shelves of the best kind of frivolity. Brand name frivolity. Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tarzan. As a kid too shy for his own good, who was more than just a tad bit different. And I'm not just talking about being the weird Chinese kid with a smelly lunchbox. These characters were how I related to the American culture that surrounded me. I ran through every aisle and touched every toy, even though I had spotted what I wanted early on. Maybe it was my ploy to make the shopping trip last a little while longer, or perhaps I just needed time to work up the courage to ask for what I wanted. Fed up with being dragged through the store, Mom told me to pick something in the next 10 minutes or we were leaving. My kid-sized brain wasn't quite equipped for such an ultimatum, so I settled on voting. I remember how impossibly big the store felt then, like I'd go on running forever and not get where I needed to be. A sentiment that I carried well into adulthood. Dad caught up with me just as I turned onto the right aisle. His heavy hands clasped around my shoulder and his voice thunderous in my ear for running off without them. Dad was, for the most part, absent or absently present, so to suddenly find myself in the center of his attention was destabilizing. I remember how the wire-rimmed glasses sat askew on his face, a face lined with the exhaustion of trying to live the American dream. He finally let go when Mom caught up with us. I didn't dare to speak, for I was afraid to be the boy that cried in the Barbie aisle. "Is this what you wanted?" Mom asked, confusion brewing into something darker on her face as she scanned the aisle of dolls. I nodded, blushing. I managed to point to the one that caught my eyes earlier, Gold Millennium Barbie. I still remember what she looked like in her gilded glamour, a fitted bodice that gave way to a voluminous skirt in layers of wintry white and shimmery gold. She was ready to ring in the new millennium. Even without the vocabulary to describe it back then, I knew she was special. The no from Mom was swift, followed by the dolls of a girl speech, even though I didn't need to hear it, not from her. The world had been saying as much. As she turned on her heels, she held her hand out to me, like she could pull me away from the wrong path. Like there was a way to be good again, and I just had to trust that she knew better. That was when I felt those big hands on my shoulders again, gentler this time. "If you want it, well, get it," Dad said as he crouched down to meet me at eye level. His expression was searching, like he was trying to see his son, see me. As he handed me the box, the air hung heavy within my little family of 3 with everything on set. Then he patted me on the back exactly 3 times. 1, 2, 3. What stayed with me was the solidity of his hand on my back and the heaviness of the plastic box in my arms. It was the weight of being seen for the first time.